Hi everyone, it's Crafting Vicky here, and today I'm doing a little video that's a bit different from what I usually do because I sent out a package, a random act of kindness, as you could say, to a YouTube friend, Artie Fartsy Fairy, and she'd liked the I'd use in one of my steampunk projects a little barbed wire, and I make them using this little die from Cheery Lynn, and those dies can get pretty expensive, so not a lot of people get them, I guess, but since I was making cards before I started doing mixed media, I have a bunch of dies and I'm kind of a die addict. So yes, my name is Vicky and I'm a die addict. I recognize it. I don't think there's die rehabilitation places that you can go to, and I'm not sure I would really want to go because I really like my dies. So anyway, one of the companies that I really like is Cheery Lynn Design. They're really intricate and gorgeous, but they can get pretty pricey, as is this little machine, my Big Shot. I totally adore this machine, but yes, if you're not going to be using it a lot, it gets expensive. So my friend liked my little barbed wire, so I sent her a bunch of that, and I sent her some flourish that I made with these little dies. They're pretty delicate. And she was wondering how I make them. So I thought, for those of you that don't have a Big Shot, I would do a little video and share it with you. I don't think there's a lot of you that don't have it, especially if you're card making. But if you're into mixed media, you might not. So here it is, my little YouTube video about that. And I also had the request of selling some of my die cuts, because of the fact that not everybody wants to purchase the die, and they might want just a few. So I'm gonna be putting some in my Etsy store, and we will see how that goes, if there's any interest on it or not. If there is, then I will make more. If there isn't, well, that's gonna be that. So here we go. So when you're doing it, usually in the videos they put that you're supposed to put the die like this and then the top paper. I do it the opposite way. I like to know where my die is versus my paper, so I place it like this on my plate. And this is a Stampin' Up magnetic platform, so the good thing about that is it keeps your die from going anywhere. Now, depending on how tiny it is, sometimes you might want to put this plate on top of it, and sometimes you might want to put a metal plate. I didn't bring it in the garage, so I don't have it with me. Hopefully this is gonna work. So once you've put it like this, you just roll it through the machine like so, and you can roll it back just to make sure that it's been well done, and then you just take it out, and there is your little barbed wire. So here's one little piece. Here, can't see from this angle. I'll share it with you once I finish. And here's the other little piece. See? So it's super easy to make, and then you can just continue doing them. Now I'm gonna to share with you how the flourish looks. And it's pretty much the same thing. So you just put a piece of paper. I'm putting green because I like my flourish in green, and then you can put quite a lot of dies on your plate at the same time. You don't have to do just one or two, depending on how you want. And I try to use as much, I try to place it so that I don't lose paper, and I use as much as possible because paper can get expensive, so I don't like being wasteful. So I try to place my dies so that I'm using as much as possible, and like that. So here we go. And there are my little flourishes. Sometimes, depending on how thick it is, it gets a bit tricky and you have to remove the little pieces, but here you go. So you can see how it looks. And then this little one. So I'll be making a bunch of these and putting them in my Etsy store, And now that I saw how they traveled, I'm going to be putting cardboard on it and separating them as well. I think I'm probably going to use saran wrap paper or something to make sure that they don't tangle with each other, because I was quite disappointed in how they traveled. But you can see, like, they get caught because there's so many little pieces. It's easy for them to get tangled up. But if I'm going to sell them, I really want to make sure that they make it there intact. So here's another one, and then you have the two tiny little ones here, and it's a bit tricky to remove the paper around them, and you don't want to tear them, obviously. So, and it gets caught like this in the little paper. So here's another little one, and here's the last one I made with that batch. And the question was asked as to how I glue those down. I have a little Xyron machine that I put them through, or a bigger one for the bigger pieces, and that's how I do it. Otherwise, I would just do liquid glue and probably just put a few little dots on the back of them, or you could actually use glossy accent to glue them down, and it would work as well. So here's the other one. So now the last one that I want to share with you is I do make some doilies as well, and I really like the doilies because they're very pretty and delicate and everything. But this die, it's harder to remove all the little pieces. So what I do to do that is I put a piece of wax paper. So I put my paper down the same way, and then I put a wax piece of paper, and then I put my die like this. And then I put my top plate, and then I run it through. And most of the time, I think I use my top metal plate on them. Like I said, I forgot to bring it. Hopefully this is gonna work. So you see, because of the wax paper, it came off like totally super fast. And then you've got this little piece of wax paper that I guess you could use on another project. And then you got your little doily, and then you can remove all the little piece of papers. This is going to be making a mess. So you remove all the little piece of papers and you're left with the little doily. So yeah, I need to finish cleaning it all off, but it's fairly easy to do. I also have this little tool that you can just press on it and see the little pieces of paper go flying, and you can use it as well on this. So that's it, guys. Hope you like this little video, and don't forget to subscribe if you're interested in purchasing my little doilies, or these little guys, or the little barbed wire. Go and check out the link down in the description box, and I will be putting some in my Etsy store. So thank you, guys. Bye.